Thanks for watching my video. All right, so a couple things I'm going to show you today is mostly related to Schoology and how you go about using various different things and kind of stressing what the rest of this unit is going to look like, and thus the rest of the year after hearing Governor Walz's announcement just yesterday, because I am recording this on Friday, even though you won't see it till Monday. So first and foremost, you might find teachers putting a lot more work into the calendar just to make life a little bit easier for you. Mine will look slightly different from yours, just kind of keep that in mind. But I do have multiple classes that I teach, so I just kind of wanted to show you a few nice little tips and tricks that you could possibly use. So on this far right corner, this is just the home page when you first come up and what you can see. This is all of your classes together. Once you go to courses and actually go into your class, specific classes, that's when it'll kind of focus on just the one class. But as you can see, I have some other things. Notice how we have Act 1, Act 2, that's for my drama class. And the thing that you can kind of do is you can make this a little bit more user friendly. Another thing that is kind of nice, if it's just a basic calendar thing, it's not going to link it to it. But as you can see, my Act 1 study guide for drama, I can actually click on that assignment and it'll bring it to right to me. It makes life a little bit easier for you to just kind of click on that instead of having to go through every single course. So just know that that's an option to you. Another thing is if you actually go into your calendar, you press on that button, it'll bring up obviously your month. These are all things. Yes, some things are doubled up. Some of my English classes didn't all sync together, so that's the reason why. But something that's kind of neat and helpful for you is if you go to this all calendars drop down option. Remember, my internet is slow. You'll see these are all different classes that I have. Now, if you actually go here, you can pick and select different colors. So with my homeroom, I can go to yellow. And then majority of my English classes, I'll do blue. And then I'll have my other English class that is a separate one, still blue, just because they're all the same kind. That shouldn't happen to you. Drama, let's make it this pinker color. My independent study that I have, let's see here, what's that? That's kind of orangey. So we'll go with that. So just doing that helps tremendously. Just for those of you who are visual, I know there are many of you that were like color coding things when you were going through your study guide. Maybe that might help a little bit. I'm not sure, but it's just something to think about. And that way it might make your life a little bit easier so you can kind of plan going into the remainder of the school year. So just kind of know that that's there and it can help you and guide you throughout everything. So I'm going to go into my major English class that is linked. Slowly but surely it will come up. So just kind of remember, I have those announcements. In the announcements, you can still click on links. Those are still available. I still put things into the weekly schedule. You can look there. Know that for the most part, I don't have too many assignments that are going to be attached to Schoology with this particular unit, just because it's a little hard. But know that that kind of just lets you know what we're working on for the remainder of our time. We have 2 units we're going to be doing. Research paper round 2 that we're currently partway through. And then the last part that we're going to do for the last couple of weeks is independent reading. What that is you're just going to kind of read like we did in class with our choice book, where you're reading for about 20 minutes, and then we'll have a Google form for you to fill out. And that's just kind of an easy way to ease out the rest of the year, especially if you're needing a little bit more time with the research paper. So with our research paper, because of the announcement and kind of always being reflective on what's going on, we have changed things slightly. So with that, you might notice some differences in time frames. Now, we have parts of the process, as I already stated before, in these various different folders. So last week, you were just focusing on brainstorming a topic. That was it. Because a lot of times people just jump the gun and be like, oh, I want to do this topic. And then they realize it's not a great topic or they don't really love it so much. So just kind of know that with last week's kind of brainstorming and then going into this week, starting the process of researching. Don't feel like you have to stick with the same topic. If you're wanting to kind of change or edit slightly, by all means, feel free to do that. So then we'll have 2 weeks where you will be able to find sources, take notes, and do all of that. And then you'll have about 2 weeks to outline and type and give it your best go. Our hope is that you could be done by Friday, May 22nd. Now, as you can see, these have kind of days chunked together. If you don't complete everything by that time, it's not the end of the world. You still have 2 weeks after this May 22nd deadline to make sure you have everything done and submitted. Because, as I said, all that we have left is just doing some independent reading and just filling out a quick Google form on what you read, and that's it. So you have some wiggle room. Know that even though I have due dates, I am flexible because I know we're all in different circumstances. So this week and the following week, we're focusing on this orange folder and kind of working on that. I do have our weekly schedule for this week. This is me kind of creating a meme. Sometimes people are asking me questions, or as I'm grading something, I'm realizing, hey, they did not watch the video. But then there's those of you who are evidently actually watching the videos. I'm glad that they are of help. So this is kind of Monday. It's really long, and it's just kind of talking about where you're going to go. First, you're focusing on a research question and being reflective of what you came up with last week and asking yourself, okay, it's good. I still love it, because some of you had phenomenal research questions. I loved them. If you still love it, then you just throw that on in. And then if you're wanting to make some changes, whether they're just small, tiny ones, maybe you're like, I still like the main topic, I just want to tweak it a little bit. Or if you're just like, hey, I started the research process trying to look for various different topics, I'm struggling and I don't like it, you can always change. And some of you did not even write a research question. It was more of just kind of a statement. Please make it into a question. If you're needing help, I do have a video that I hope you watch if you're struggling to try and come up with it, with some other handouts that I referenced. This is the different hours. Make sure you're in the correct hour, and all you're going to be doing is going through and adding your first and last name, what the major topic is, and then what purpose you are doing, whether it's problem solution or if you are going to go through the argumentative route and then write the question. So we're just going to fine tune and make sure that now, after a week of reflection and actually having a weekend to just kind of think and coming back, or maybe even today, your first day kind of looking at sources, you might realize, I might want to change it. Know that you can go into these Google documents at any time this week. Then you want to make a copy of the note card slideshow, which you will find in this folder. So note cards for e-learning, make a copy. I do have Boolean search help if you're still in need of it. And then you're looking for 3 to 6 sources, using the eLibrary of Minnesota to find those sources. Once you have decided you have a source that you want to use, you need to create Works Cited page, and then fill out those note cards. Since this is Friday, some of us are still working on finalizing our videos, but as you can see, we have different videos. We broke them up this time, so then you can kind of look at various different ones depending on the topic. And then the rest of the week is just working on that. Just plug away. That's kind of the main goal. And then the following week, same thing, just plug away. That's all we're really asking you to do. If you are having questions, if you're struggling with the research process, you really just need to kind of ask for help. Let us know what you need. Especially if you're having problem with the searching process, this video would be great. This eLibrary Minnesota Boolean search. This shows you the pro-con database a little bit more. I am the one doing the tutorial on that one. And then I also did this paraphrasing quoting in note cards tutorial, in where I'm also talking about searching on Galen context. So if you're needing help with that, please watch either of those. The other ones are kind of just talking about reminders about the note cards. Remember, you don't have to watch the whole video if you're just kind of wanting to jump through. If you're like, hey, I know this, you can fast forward through, but you could also pause or go back. And then also how to create the Works Cited page using these databases. This is going to be crucial. Please watch this. Ms. Zalik is actually doing this one. She does a phenomenal job kind of explaining you and walking you through the steps. So please do that. But if you have more questions, by all means, feel free to ask. That's what we're here for. So you have 2 weeks to kind of go through that process of finding sources and taking notes. So this is 2 weeks of time. Hopefully that is enough. But like I said, if you don't have it done by May, that's fine. You just keep working. That's the goal. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you are going to start watching these videos a little bit more because it is a research paper. Some of you know the process. You can, once you're done with something, even if you're done with searching before May 8th and you're like, hey, I have some time and I want to get started on typing. So then I have a little bit more wiggle room and I don't have to spend a ton of time typing. You can always get started on the next process. That's kind of why we liked the idea of having this as your unit in these kind of uncertain, weird times. It's something you've done before. We did it before. And so you kind of know what the next step is. We will be having working on some videos as well about how to outline, reminders about that, also tips about how to format that paper, typing it, using quotes, that type of thing. So just know that we will have some videos as well to help and guide you. And that's what we'll be working on next after we're done with the ones for this section. If you have questions, ask, please. We're here to help.